So we are looking at the artwork, Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. Like I said, we're doing several projects by Vincent van Gogh. If you can tell, this is such a great picture. What time of day do we think it is?
Night.
Why do we think it's night?
Because there's lots of blues and grays for the clouds, and the moon, you can see it.
You can see the stars, they're kind of radiating. And what's great about this is if you get close up, you can really see what makes a Vincent van Gogh painting. You can see all of his brushstrokes and how he mixes color right on the project. You can see how the stars are kind of radiating. Do you think it's a calm night or a windy night?
Windy.
Probably windy because you see these swirls of possibly wind blowing. And then down here, you see the city. So people have thinks he was sitting on a hill and painting that. This is a tree that's right there, and it's so big because that tree was probably right in front of him, and then he was looking down into the city. So we are going to make our own version of Starry Night. You guys can use a white craypaw. I guess I will. We're going to just watch right now. So I know it's hard to see, but right now I'm using a white craypaw to make some stars. You guys are just watching right now. Then, to mimic his short brush strokes, I am going to go around my stars that I made. And I'm using little short strokes to make it look like these stars are glowing. We're going to paint over these with watercolor. That's why I started with white, because you can't see it now, but when I go back with my watercolors, it will be way easier. You'll be able to see the white stars pop out. But right now, it's a little bit trickier to see because it's dark. So you can use yellows. You can go back and refer to his painting. But I've got warm colors that are reflecting, radiating kind of off these stars. I am not going to do the landscape below. So then my next part is I'm going to start to do nope, we're not even going to worry about the city right now. Right now I'm just, again, going to have short strokes. And I'm going to make it look like it's a windy night. And it was nighttime, so I'm going to use shades of blues and purples all over my page. Now, because we are going to do watercolor over the top, it is important that you press. Look at the difference. Can you see the difference between these lines and these lines? I don't want to press so hard that I break my craypaw, but I do want to press hard enough so that when I come over with a paintbrush, they don't smear and the water goes right over the top of it. Craypaws, you guys, there are so many shades of blues and purples in these packs that you should be able to fill your whole page. Part 2 of this project. Once you have filled your whole page, notice my whole page, top to bottom, is filled with the blue swirls of wind and sky. When you're all done, I do want you to go get a board to put your paper on when we're painting. Everybody stop and watch. I didn't ask anybody to do that yet. For the next part, you're going to need a little cup of water. And again, when we're painting, we don't need a cup of water all the way to the top. It makes it easier to spill. I'm going to wake up. Now, this you guys have variety. You could do a sunrise You could do a sunset. You could do a night sky. I'm going to wake up my colors. Regardless of what you do, you are not going to need green. Green is not in a sky unless there's a tornado. So you can do a night sky or you can do a sunrise or a sunset. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to paint my whole paper with a lot of water. I want to make my paper really wet. Why do you think I want to make my paper wet?
So the paint will stick on.
So the paint will all run. So now when I come in here with my color, look at how it just spreads out. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. So I don't need to brush the paint all the way back and forth. I just need to add, I'm just adding little swabs of color. And I'm letting the water that's already on there blend those colors. I'm not scrubbing. I'm not going back and forth. I am just adding color on. Even almost in blobs. This looks amazing. Very excited about it.
Whoa. Whoa.
So see, I'm not brushing it. It's very important that you don't brush the colors. You want them to all mix kind of on their own. When you're done, it's very important. We're going to leave it on your table to dry. Because if I picked my paper up, all of that color would run. So we're just going to leave it on your table for a quick second. If you get to painting today, awesome. If you don't, that's okay. Today we're going to finish our Vincent van Gogh. So proud of all of you that you remembered it's Vincent van Gogh and not Claude Monet. So we are doing Starry Night, and in a minute I'll pull up the picture of his. So once you are done and you've painted it all, it's all dry, we're going to make that scenery, that village that you saw, because we said he was probably painting on a hill. He was painting on the hill because in that corner there was a big tree. The first thing I'm going to do, and you guys are going to use a pencil, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a horizon line. The horizon line divides where the sky meets the ground. And we said that over here in the corner was that big tree that was bigger than everything else. So I'm going to draw that tree. Then I'm going to draw some houses, some of those things that were in that town. Maybe there was a church. So I'm just going to draw a few houses. It is very important after you do that, that when I'm cutting this out, I'm cutting out. Don't cut on that horizon line and cut straight across. And I'm just going to cut across. It's very important that I'm cutting around those buildings. I say that because I've had people cut straight across on the horizon line and then all their buildings fell off. You guys are going to probably want to use little scissors. I know people think it's so cool to use the big scissors, but they're a lot harder to cut when you have little tiny things you're cutting. Keep them simple because you're going to have to cut them out. When you're done with that, put the glue on the side where your pencil marks are. So I'm going to put the glue on the side where my pencil marks are. And this is the village that's getting glued at the bottom of my paper. And because I put the glue where my pencil marks are, there are no pencil marks on here. Then, if you would like to, because that painting we said kind of looks like it's at night, you can get some yellow paper and you can cut a few windows to add to your town, which will be way easier for you guys with your cute little tiny fingers to put in. Oh my gosh, these are so hard. To put in your cute little windows where you would like to. Yeah, you guys should because you have cute little fingers. It's a lot harder with my...
I want to make a really big tree. Like, really.
let's look. I purposely cut the paper at an angle so that you would know one side is going to be where your tree is and it gets smaller because you want your tree to be the biggest thing. So I purposely cut your paper at an angle so that when you draw your horizon line, you know to put the tree here. And then it gets smaller as you go across. Alrighty? So when you're done, I do like these little windows. That's a nice touch. You can add those on there.